Oh my gosh, it's hard to believe we haven't had any concerts for so long, and that's something we always look forward to this time of year when the weather is picture perfect like it is today. Hello, September. Blue skies, sunshine, and temperatures in the 70s. We'll take it. Outside we go, and it is a lovely day today. Those evening rain showers cooled us off and really turned things green up in the Greeley area. We look live there. Across the Continental Divide, that beautiful blue, although the smoke and haze still something we'll be dealing with this week as temperatures start to warm. Today, 80 in Denver, 72 in Eagle, a cool 67 in Steamboat Springs, 79 at the airport. The official observation station reporting winds east at 7. But I've got calm winds here downtown Denver outside the studios with upper 70s this 5 o'clock hour. Not a lot of moisture coming into Colorado, not with high pressure anchored where it is off to the west of us. A very dry northwest flow around the top of that ridge is going to provide a warming and drying trend, and that's not something that we want to see, especially with the extreme drought conditions across the west and southwestern U.S. and across our own state of Colorado. Even with the moisture that we've seen over the last couple of days, the trend will be for above average temperatures during the month of September, as the latest modeling has come out showing the western half of the state will see record highs potentially this month, with cooler than average readings off across the Midwest and the east central plains. There's not a lot of moisture to show you right now. The front that brought the rain last night is to the south, and that's where we're seeing some leftover showers right along the Colorado-New Mexico line. Powerful storms are firing up from Dallas up through Memphis, St. Louis into the Chicago area, but high pressure centered in behind that will bring us a sunny day and a warmer day. A little disturbance up north, and we may catch a little bit of that front tomorrow and late in the day into probably Thursday, so the numbers will come back down, but we're close to 90 again tomorrow. Low 50s for the Front Range and Eastern Plains, 40s in the high country, maybe some mid 30s up around Craig, Steamboat, Maybell, and Meeker. Mid 70s for Carbondale, Aspen, Buena Vista, and out around Grand Junction, 84, close to 90 in Denver and Greeley, with temperatures warming for a day ahead of that weak little front that will bring numbers back down again on Thursday. In the city for tonight, beautiful evening, fair skies, dry and comfortable, low 52. Sunshine tomorrow, big warm up, 67 to start at 9 a.m., 83 by 1 o'clock in the afternoon, but the high will be closer to 90. That dry front knocks the number down a bit Thursday, but there are two 90-degree days coming in Friday and Saturday, so we're heading into record territory again. Cooling trend Sunday, isolated storms for Labor Day holiday, and then a significant cold front Tuesday, mountain snow, and some of the models suggest highs in the 50s here next Tuesday. So remember that. We're going to talk more about Tuesday later tonight. Beautiful shots coming in from Crested Butte tonight. Keep the weather pictures, weather reports coming, or just send me a picture of you and your dog if you want to. We have so much more ahead. Sports is next. We'll be back.